back to my channel. I'm Keely. Minasan konnichiwa. I just filmed a 40-minute video and then I was like, this is too long. This is too long. I don't think I have the space on my phone for this. So we're going to watch one that's a little bit shorter. So yesterday we watched a video from Nick Crowley's channel, which I really like his channel. I think you guys all need to go check him out because he's got some really good deep dives on some pretty creepy stuff. Oh my God, my allergies. I can't breathe. Anyway, so we're gonna watch another one of his videos. It's called The Internet's Darkest Corners. This is the second one. This came out like a year ago. But I like his videos. He did another one with, I like Nexpo too. That's another one that I like. Without further ado, let's get to this video. If you guys like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get to it. Oh, also someone asked me why I keep wearing like hats in all my videos. It's because I didn't make any videos while I was a redhead, but I was a redhead for a little while and I fried my hair off going back to blonde. I used to do hair, so I knew I knew like the risks. So I'm just kind of trying to grow it out. So this is how it's going to be for a little while. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and get to the video. The Internet's Darkest Corners, number 2. And this is from the channel by Nick Crowley. Let's go. Okay.
Draw conclusions. It's a personal computer from Apple, and it's as easy to use as this.
I really like this channel a lot.
But by taking the proper precautions, you can get the job done safely.
You okay to try it?
Yeah, fine.
I wish I was good at editing like this.
There was no way to defend herself. She knew she had been caught. As in the hours prior to getting behind the wheel of her car, 21-year-old Jayana Webb had consumed far too many drinks, causing her driving to become uncontrollable.
It's also nice to hear someone really narrating a video and not doing that AI talk to text type
miles
thing.
per hour and driving right past a pair of state troopers, Jayana was now pulled over on the I-95 in South Philadelphia. There, she would be approached by officers Martin Mack and Brandon
I will
Siska,
never date a state
as she
trooper
sat
ever
one
again. I'm sorry,
breathalyzer
state
away from
troopers.
facing harsh legal action for her
Y'all
poor
look good,
decision. But just as the officers began conversing with the intoxicated woman,
worst
their
experiences of my
attention would
life.
soon be called elsewhere, as an urgent call was made to their radio, alerting them that a pedestrian had been wandering by foot on that very highway just a few miles ahead. Unaware at this point that Jayana was in fact inebriated, and assuming that the pedestrian was a far more pressing concern, the officers sprang into action and sped away into the night, allowing Jayana to leave freely and breathe the ultimate sigh of relief. Clearly she had dodged a bullet, but rather than being thankful that she had avoided certain and serious legal ramifications, the incident instead seemed to inflate her ego, as she immediately took to Twitter, still parked on the side of the road, writing in a braggadocious manner, "Why the cop pull me and he say I'm doing 110 in a 50? As strange of a response as this may have been, to narrowly avoiding a life-changing arrest,
I don't even think
this
my
was
hoopty gets up to
surprisingly
110.
on
I know, well,
brand
it doesn't
for
run right now.
Jayana, as between incessant posting about how much she loves to drink, she would also tweet, "If you ask me, I'm the best drunk driver ever."
Everyone thinks they're the best drunk
This
driver
was
ever.
clearly
Get an
a
Uber!
pattern for Jayana, a normalized action, as she
Of course they
believed that
think
she
that.
was
They're
fully
drunk.
capable of driving drunk, and also that she was actually good
You're
at
not
it,
really rational
which is
when
not
you're
only
drunk.
incredibly frightening, but also far from the truth.
Like,
Immediately after tweeting this message out, Jayana would again speed off into the night,
you
having
can't
gotten
afford an
away
Uber,
with her
then don't
drunk
go out.
driving once more. Though, ironically, just
Or if
minutes
you can't get a ride
later, she
home.
would again approach those very same officers that had just pulled her over, as well as that very pedestrian they were trying to help.
why was he
Only
on the
this
road?
time, there was a problem.
Did she hit them?
She was going far too fast, and was impaired to the point that her reaction time was severely delayed. She quickly began to swerve out of control, and by that point, there was no stopping. And in an instant, Jayana would careen her vehicle directly into Officers Martin Mack and Brandon Siska, as well as that same pedestrian they were attempting to save, striking all three at unimaginable speeds.
Oh my God.
As the car finally came to a stop, all three of the men lay motionless on the pavement. None of them were alive, with the only survivor of the
She killed
incident
two
being
cops and a
Jayana,
pedestrian.
the best drunk driver ever.
Best drunk driver ever. Bitch.
Dead.
People like that never learn their lesson either.
March 30th, 2017. A disturbing video begins circulating across Twitter, showing a woman hanging
Oh God,
out
not
of a window,
Twitter.
clinging
Oh
on
my
for
God,
dear
have you
life
guys?
with
It's
one
like the
hand.
Wild West over
Below
there.
her
Don't
was
go
7
on there. Don't
stories
even
of
look things
nothing,
up on Twitter.
leading to concrete ground and metal.
I've
Certain
seen
death for
some
anyone unfortunate
insane
enough to
gore
fall
shit
from
on
that
Twitter
height.
by accident.
Understandably, the woman is crying and begging to be saved,
And I'm no
yelling
stranger
over and
to
over
that
again
stuff, 'cause,
to
like,
hold me, hold me.
I don't know. For some reason, shit just like my
But what
algorithm.
makes this story especially
know, I just let
disturbing
things,
is
like-
the commentary in the background heard in
I don't know.
response
I don't know
to
why
these
my algorithm has
pleas.
gotten weird. Okay, it's gotten weird on everything. Every
As the
platform,
woman
there's
desperately
just been
clings to the
crazy
window,
shit that they're
another woman
allowing to be
stands inches
uploaded.
away, holding her phone and
And then they
recording
like
the
freaking
ordeal,
take my
as she
stuff
calmly
down for
responds
no
to the
reason
cries
at
for
all.
help by saying,
Like the most benign
"Oh, crazy,
content
come
ever."
back." It's a chilling line, knowing that one woman was clearly powerless and in dire need of help, while the other woman just
And then
stands
I'll,
behind
like,
the
randomly
camera,
come
seeming
across, like,
completely
an ISIS
unfazed by
video
the
on-
gravity of the situation, waiting for tragedy to strike. And that's exactly what would happen, as the lady soon loses
Someone
her
just, like,
grip,
parked
causing
outside
her
my-
to plummet to the ground below.
Oh my God. This is what I'm
Moments later,
saying.
the
This
camera
kind of
shows
shit
the
ends up
woman
on
as she
Twitter.
lays
I'm like,
there
I can maybe
deathly
see it on
still,
like popping
7
up on
stories
Reddit.
below. It was an extremely shocking video, and one that immediately raised questions as to what exactly
But I
had
don't
led to
even,
this
like-
scenario, with millions viewing the video and sharing
There's no
it
reason
across
for my
Twitter
algorithm
in
to
a
be all
desperate
messed
search
up
for
like that.
answers, as the clip offered nothing else in the way of context. Initially,
Like, I watch
it was
animal
believed and
videos,
even
like-
reported that the woman had done this as a way of taking her
I don't know
own
how
life,
this shit ends up
and
on
the
my
woman
Twitter,
behind the
so I don't
camera
go on Twitter
seemingly
anymore.
didn't believe that she would go through with it. Perhaps just not
Sorry, I'm
understanding
talking
that by
through this
that
one because it
point,
makes
there
me a
was
little
literally
uncomfortable.
nothing that
I don't-
any
I just-
woman
it
could
makes
have
me really
done to pull
upset. Like, I
herself
don't
back
like-
up. And due
I
to
don't like
this being
seeing
the
that.
most prominent initial theory, many would walk away from this video believing that it was sadly yet another tragic suicide. However, there was something
doesn't
that
feel
still
like that
didn't
to me.
sit right about this clip, as the
Yeah,
cold,
I
callous
don't-
way that the woman off screen had spoken to this struggling woman
It doesn't
just comes
seem like it
across
was
as
an accident
so
to me.
off-putting, leading some to believe that there had to be more to this story. A notion that would turn out to be correct.
Am I the only one whose
Upon
algorithm's
the
gotten a
release of a
little
series
weird
of
on
local
everything?
articles from Kuwait, it
Even
would be
on
revealed
here, I'm
that
just
this
kinda like,
hanging woman's name was actually
don't know why this
Adish
is on my
Sadiq. And what we are
suggestions.
witnessing in this video actually isn't an attempted suicide, but rather an attempted murder. At the time, Adish had
kinda
moved
feels
from
like
her
it.
home in Ethiopia to quote-unquote work as a maid in Kuwait. And I say this because it would later be revealed that Adish had essentially been a slave to her employer.
That's
She had only
sad.
been working for this particular boss for 3 days, but during this time she had been held captive and was forbidden from leaving the building, making Adish essentially a prisoner or a slave, which sadly is all too common of an occurrence in the area due to something called the kafala system, which is way too complicated to fully dive into here. But on this particular
Modern
day,
slavery is
Adish
what I
finally had enough,
saw
and she approached her
it
boss
say.
telling her that she was quitting while demanding to be released. Though it wasn't quite that simple, and her boss did not take kindly to this request. In response, Adish would be grabbed and thrown inside of the bathroom of what appears to
You
be
don't
some
mess with
sort
those,
of apartment
I
complex,
don't know, I just-
with the
the
room
rich
being
people
located
over-
near the
rich
very
people
top
are
of the
just-
building. Once inside, her boss, a woman
can't
who
trust
to
a
my
man.
knowledge has not been publicly named, would lock the door and begin shouting at Adish and proclaiming that she was going to kill her, and that no one would ever find out or even care for that matter, which was most certainly true, given the unbalanced power dynamic in the area
That's
between
sad.
employers and foreign workers. And knowing that the woman was in fact serious with her threats, and that if she were killed in that bathroom, no one would have known. Adish made the split-second decision to try and escape out the window, despite knowing
I don't
that
know,
she
maybe
would
clean
most
your own
likely
damn
not
house
survive the
instead of having to
fall.
hire people to
But
do
at
it
least
for
this
you.
way, as slim as it may seem,
Lazy ass,
she
rich
had a
people.
chance. Going out that window
Treating
was
people
purely
like that
an act of
pisses me off.
desperation, but to Adish it was the only way, and so she clambered out the window and prepared to plummet to the ground below. But not before her boss pulled out her cell phone to record the woman's final moments, while
What
openly
a-
mocking her as she fell
can't
to the
say it on
ground
here.
below. This explains the lack of assistance that the camera woman offered,
What a cunt.
and why she seemed to have such a smug attitude towards the helpless woman, because she didn't care if Adish died. Her life was meaningless to her if she wasn't her slave. And to make this employer's behavior
Wait till you
even
come back
more
in the
jarring,
next life and get
she
your
would
karma,
immediately
bitch.
upload the video to her very own Snapchat, where it would then be re-recorded and shared
Her
across
karmic
the web.
cycle's gonna be all
And when
fucked
questioned
up.
about what exactly had happened inside that bathroom, it was this employer that began the lie that Adish was merely trying to take her own life. She had formulated this entire rumor
How
to essentially
gross.
absolve herself from any responsibility, and it's almost certain that she would have gotten away with this too, had it not been for the fact that Adish survived.
Good. I'm
Upon
glad.
falling to the ground below, Adish's fall would be broken by a metal awning, which more than likely saved her life, as miraculously
That
she
poor
was able
lady.
to physically walk away from the scene with merely a
Wow.
broken arm and a few other non-life-threatening injuries. She'd even go on to give an interview inside the hospital just a few
She's
days
tough.
later, where she would reveal the truth behind
She's so
this
pretty.
shocking
Aw.
video, with this testimony
That poor
leading to the
lady.
arrest of her employer, who would ultimately receive just a few months of jail time. But still, it's crazy to me just how differently this story could have ended, and probably should have
Man.
ended. As imagine if this video had never been recorded, and imagine if Adish hadn't survived that fall. I mean, the truth would have literally never been known, which is such a scary and utterly depressing
Yeah,
thought.
I think it's-
Though thankfully, the story
I think
did
rich
have
people
a
get away
happy
with way too
ending,
much shit.
a phenomenon that is sadly all too rare when exploring the dark corners of the internet.
عبال مينونة تعالي.
If you've
That's
seen my
gross.
videos before, then you know that the internet is a dark and dangerous
Alright, we're
place.
gonna go past
and in our day,
that.
If we miss a step in the rigging process, things could go seriously wrong. The first step to preventing accidents is preparation. Let's begin by taking a close look at
I
in recent
really like
years,
his
the
editing
popularity
skills.
of live streaming has seemingly reached an all-time high, as it allows the audience to interact with their favorite creators in a uniquely intimate way. But with any content like this, there always lies a dark side, as unpredictable events can interrupt the live stream at any moment.
Uh-oh.
Unsurprisingly, this has led to countless
seen that one.
compilations and clips throughout the web, documenting the many disturbing moments that have happened when creators go live. And of these endless examples, a few have always stood out to me. In the year 2021, a 23-year-old named Chow
Haven't gone
Keely
live in a
had been
while.
building
I
a
used to go
following
live on
the
TikTok like
social
every
media
other day.
site Douyin, the Chinese version of what many of us know today as TikTok, which will actually be featured in the remainder of today's cases. She would post numerous videos
TikTok
and live
is? Or
streams,
Douyin?
helping build her follower count to over 100,000 people. It was a more than
Wow,
respectable
that's a lot.
number.
I only have,
And though
like,
she wasn't the most
16.5, I
famous
think.
person on the platform by
Okay,
any
not
means,
16
many
people.
believed that she was well on her way to internet stardom. But before she could get there, she knew that she had to keep a stable job and establish some sort of income, as she was already in the process of building her family, being the mother of
100,000
2 young
followers is
children.
pretty good,
And so
though.
she would spend her days working as a crane operator, assisting in numerous construction projects, and earning herself a decent wage.
I've just
as it
never been
wasn't a
able to
job
get
that
it
most
going,
would
you
sign
know?
up
I
for.
don't know.
The cranes that Chow was often tasked with operating often stood hundreds and even thousands of feet in the air. It certainly wasn't a job for the faint of heart, but Chow seemingly embraced the challenge, and in many ways used her unique skill set to her advantage, as she would often document her life as a crane operator on Douyin.
That's a dangerous job.
With these videos, along with her dancing content, being responsible for the majority
Heck
of her
yeah, girl.
viewership. And by the summer of 2021, Chow
Look how
would begin
cute she
not only
is.
making videos while at work,
Her little
but she
hard
would also
hat.
begin live streaming right from her job. And on July
I think
20th,
that's an awesome
2021, when her workday began to wind
I'd be
down,
scared, though.
she would once again
I
fire
can't do
up her
heights.
stream. The full version of this stream doesn't appear to be available anywhere online today, and rather, we only have a roughly 2-minute clip from that day, with the video starting in silence, as Chow had been singing along to copyrighted music, while inside the small cab of her massive crane,
I feel like
sitting
everything's
160
copyrighted now.
feet in the air. She would then set her phone down with the camera still rolling, as the viewers began flocking to the stream, loving every second of it. Or at least they were, until the footage cut to this.
Oh no. That's not good.
Though the exact moment has been cut from this video, likely out of respect for Chow, as she was streaming 16 stories in the sky, Chow finishes dancing and begins to walk down the steps of the crane until she
Did she
slips,
fall?
causing
Oh,
her to
no.
free fall all the way to the ground, with her
my
phone
God.
supposedly still in hand. On her way down, she seems to strike metal bar after metal bar
Oh my
from
God.
the crane until she finally hit the ground below, killing her instantly with her phone still recording. I just can't even imagine being one of the viewers in that live stream and watching
That's
that very
so
moment that she
bad.
begins to fall. And ultimately, I think it's a good thing that the actual footage of her slipping has
Yeah,
essentially been
I don't
wiped
think
from the
people need to
internet.
see
As
that.
even with the missing frames, this is truly one of the most disturbing live stream accidents
No,
that I
that's
have
really
ever
sad.
seen. An accident that showcased the brutal end of a rising star taken too soon. And throughout the history of the Douyin platform, she's far from the only one.
See? It's not so hard after all. Once you get the hang of it, it can be easy to rig a load safely.
Raid hunts bugs down like
You gotta be
they
careful. Crane operating
Attack
jobs are
roaches
really,
as
really
they
dangerous.
fall and kills them dead.
Lu Chao Malmauzi was also a young creator on the Douyin site, focusing most of her content on the latest fashion trends, with her
Aw, she's
videos
so
helping her
cute.
to amass a following of over 600,000 people,
Dang, girl.
making her a full-on celebrity on the platform. It's a
Hell
type
yeah.
of virality that so many people in our world desire. But this also comes with a downside.
I've
With so
never
many
had a
eyes
single
on
video
you,
go
the
viral,
criticism
ever,
and hatred
ever.
lobbied your
I don't
way
think I
on a
could
daily
handle it.
basis is often
think I can handle it. People are
overwhelming,
so
and for many it can
mean.
be too much to bear. And
People
for
are
Lu,
just
this
horrible.
fame ultimately
I
came at
couldn't
the
do it.
cost of her own mental sanity.
I like that
Even
no one
before
knows
her
who I
rise to
am.
prominence, Lu had long since struggled with severe depression, and now, given the rise of what
Aw.
her family described as constant
And
online
it's really
harassment,
like,
this
yeah,
depression
that's
would
what I'm
only
saying.
worsen by
Like,
the
people
day.
are so
By August
nasty,
of
and like
2021,
your
things
engagement
had
goes
gotten
up and
so bad for
down,
Lu
and
that her family began to fear that she may try and harm herself.
Yeah.
And decided to place her in a psychiatric hospital
It can
with
be
the
rough.
hopes that there she would be safe and hopefully
And I have a
overcome
really
her personal
small following.
demons.
Like, I have-
And for a while, that's exactly what she would do. As she supposedly
like
began making serious strides in her mental
16.7K,
health,
like,
though
total.
once released, her progress would again diminish, as she would fall back into creating content, with the online harassment only growing worse and worse the more her account grew, which leads us to
Why are
October 14th,
why are people like that?
2021.
People
On top
who
of
go in the
dealing with
comments and
stress
you're nasty and
associated
mean,
with
like, why-
online fame, Lu would also have to deal
Why are
with
you
a
like that?
breakup between her and her longtime boyfriend,
Why
something
are
that
you
would
awful?
cause her
Like-
already collapsing mental health to completely plummet.
Just
And
because
so
your
that
life
day,
sucks doesn't mean
she
you
would
have to be
take
mean to other
Douyin
people.
and post a cryptic video stating that
Like,
this
be
may be the
jealous,
last
I
time
guess?
she ever interacts with her audience. With the clip being titled, "This is probably the last video. Thank you
Like,
for
sorry, you
following
can't get your
along."
shit going, but don't be mean to someone else who could, you know? She's so pretty. Why can't we, like, lift each other up? I don't understand why that's so difficult.
It is an incredibly worrisome video, as given her complex history with depression, viewers grew worried
You
that she
never
was
know what
alluding to
someone's
taking
going
her
through,
own life,
you know?
with some questioning what she had
And I
in
guess
store
people
for
would be like,
this
oh, the people in the
supposed
comments are going through
live
something too.
stream, or
Yeah,
if
but
it
like
would
I'm
even
going through
happen
shit
at
and I
all.
don't take it out on
But
people
sure enough,
on their
as
social media.
promised,
Like,
that same night, Lou would go live
over
and
yourselves.
reveal her plan. As the stream starts, Lou is sitting in
That's
front of
sad.
the camera, echoing the sentiment of her previous video, and expressing how truly sad she was
That makes me
before
sad.
she shifted the conversation to ending her life. As viewers began clicking on her stream, Lou explains how she had purchased liquid pesticide from the store, which was said to be highly toxic, as a single sip was capable of causing death.
listen, I have Agent Orange
And
because
not
my
only did
dad
she
got
buy
Agent
this,
Orange,
but she also
and I was
explained
born with
how she planned
birth
to drink
defects
it
from it.
right there on
That's
stream,
basically
before asking her viewers
chemical
what they
grade
thought.
pesticide, and it's
By this point,
a horrible,
her stream
horrible
had already
way to
amassed
go.
over 1,200 viewers, many of whom being supposed fans of the young woman, who clearly was in desperate need of help.
Yeah.
But rather than helping talk her out of this,
Did they fucking-
the live chat
did they
instead
encourage it?
began to turn on her.
this is what
Looking
I
at
mean,
still
man.
images
People are
pulled from the stream,
crazy.
the majority of her comments
I think
read
people
things
forget
like,
that there's a
"Drink,
real human being
drink,
on the other side of the
drink,"
screen.
Or drink if you want to. And even more nefariously, other users would write, "Drink up, fatty."
I think
and
the
"Prove
internet
that you
has
have
made
depression
people
in
into
front of this many
sociopaths.
People. Drink the pesticide. It's unclear what Lou's true intentions were when starting this stream, but many believe that
That'll
this
happen
was
at the
simply
prison,
done
and
as
I
a
have to
call
like
for
tell them to
help,
knock it
with
off
one of her
because
own
if
friends
someone
even
does
stating
something
that this
because
was
they were
only
like,
done as a
do
way of
it, do
attracting her
it, like
ex-boyfriend's
yelling at him and
attention,
shit,
and that she
like they
never
could
actually
get
intended on
charges.
taking her own life.
So
But seeing the way
Keep
that
that
her
in
chat had
mind.
turned on her,
You can
and
get
hearing the
charged.
demands that she drink the pesticide, only fueled her spiraling mental health. And so, in an instant, Lou grabbed the bottle and began to chug. Following this, Lou puts the jug down and makes a
Man.
remark stating that was hard to drink, before the poison seemingly begins to take effect. The stream then ends
cannot-
as Lou
ugh,
clutches
I would
her
start
throat
panicking.
and stops the video.
I would start panicking.
With the live stream over, Lou immediately began to regret her decision, as she
See,
would quickly
yeah,
grab her phone
oh
and
my
call
God.
an ambulance. However, it was much
I'm
too
panicking
late.
for her.
And sadly,
Oh, God,
she
that
would
must
lose
have
her
been horrible.
life, thanks in large part to the encouragement from her very own audience. It's a horrible story.
That makes me sad. I have a whole rant I need to go on about people in the comments on social media.
Twists that I have personally ever seen in a case before. Following her passing, Lou's body would be
She's so
quickly
pretty.
cremated with a funeral planned shortly after, so her loved ones could pay their respects. Though something strange happened
People
before
who
the
act like
ceremony
that,
could commence,
I hope you have the
as
day you
ashes of
deserve. I hope you have the
Lou
life you
would
deserve, honestly.
disappear. Apparently, the
I hope it's
crematorium
shit.
had refused to turn over Lou's ashes to her family.
I was bullied so
claiming
bad
that
my whole
somehow
life,
they
so
had
I
gotten
just don't have
lost.
any
Though in actuality, an investigation would reveal
tolerance
that
for
these
bullies.
remains had actually been stolen.
I got cyberbullied.
And stolen by none other
During
than
the Bush Kerry
employees
election
responsible
randomly.
for her cremation. According to reports, numerous members of the staff had taken the remains of Lou with the intention of selling them on the black market. As
What
once
is
news
wrong
broke of her
with you
passing,
people?
the agency was contacted by an individual expressing interest in purchasing her cremated remains. And what did this man have planned once in possession of these ashes?
Oh, a man, surprise.
Well,
Sorry.
He wanted to
I have a lot of
marry
good men in
them.
my life, but oh my
In
God.
certain areas
Like,
of China, there exists a practice called ghost
all of the
marriages,
bullying,
where
a lot
people
of the
are
bullying
allowed
I get
to
in my
marry
comments
after
are from
death.
men,
This is
so-
done due to the fact that unmarried
I don't know.
girls are seen as undesirable in their society and can even be
Well-
shameful for the parents. So some will choose to marry the deceased individuals as a way of supposedly saving their souls and their families from the
Weird.
shame. It's a
I mean, not
bizarre
weird. Like, I know it's a
tradition
cultural
that typically
thing. I
happens
just,
between
like,
people
I can't
who,
wrap
at
my
the
head
very
around
least, knew
that.
each other.
You know what I mean?
But it's especially twisted when it's done without any form of
Yeah,
consent
like, they can't
from the
consent to
victim
that.
or
That's
her
just
family,
not- that
as
just
this man
doesn't
was
seem
a
right to
complete
me.
stranger to the girl.
That's not
Though
right.
thankfully, this plan would eventually fall through when the buyer supposedly backed out, and the operation would eventually be busted, leading to Lou's remains being found.
I'm just saying, you
and
don't see
safely
women
returned
starting
to her
wars.
family. And it's this family that I truly feel sorry for the most in this situation, as not only did they have to deal with the highly publicized passing of their daughter in such a horrific way,
Sometimes
but
I
also
can't
the
articulate
theft
myself and I
almost
get
the
uncomfortable
marriage
watching these
of her
videos, and so then I'm
remains.
just like, blah, word salad. Yeah, I'm glad that
Let's
he
turn
put
now
some.
to China, where the Winter Olympics are underway
Nora.
in Beijing. China's human rights abuses
I
are
love her.
getting as much attention as the athletes.
Our final case
miss when
once again
CBS News
takes
this
us
morning
back to
was
the
like real
Douyin
news.
app and a small
Now
impoverished
it's like
village
Good
within
Morning
Suzhou,
America.
China.
Ugh.
There, a man named Dong
Or
Mumin
worse,
had
the
been
Today
living with his
Show.
family of 8 children, 7 boys and 1 girl.
8
a
kids?
dynamic that was extremely unusual to say the least, as China had only just recently gotten rid of its one-child policy.
Yeah.
Yet somehow Dong had found a workaround and managed to grow this family
So
all of
that's a
his
lot of
own.
kids.
Even more surprising was the fact that Dong actually lived in destitute poverty, hardly earning enough to take care of himself, let alone this
sad.
big family. Yet somehow he found a way for himself and his children to survive. And not
I don't
just
know how,
survive,
I only have
but
one kid and
seemingly
I'm
thrive. As Dong
so
always
broke.
seemed to have a smile on his face, and his family remained positive and full of joy despite their circumstances. To the locals, his story was incredibly touching, and soon enough, this story would begin to spread to the rest of the world, as Dong began to document his life on Douyin, where he ran the aptly named Father of 8 page, which most would view as extremely inspirational given his positive outlook and the love he had for his family. Soon enough, his videos began being viewed by thousands of people, growing his account to 600,000 followers in the span of
That's
just
really
a few
good.
uploads.
Man, that's incredible.
And before long, Dong had become a full-on small-town celebrity, with other
What's going
influencers
on? There's
traveling
gotta
to the
be
region
something.
to interview him, as well as to help him set up ways for his audience to
gonna
donate to his
happen.
family. This exposure and outside help led to a brand new stream of income, as well as a seemingly endless supply of donations for his children, who would receive such a staggering amount of gifted clothes that it quite literally filled up an entire section of his already small home.
Dang.
The whole ordeal was undeniably touching.
I can't afford
many
clothes right now.
influencers to help make these donations happen
I'm on
was an
disability.
account called Shujo Brother Yiksu, a man who had visited Dong and his family on multiple occasions. And on one particular day in late January of 2021, he would once again show up unannounced to the home of Dong for another routine visit. And it was on this visit that everything changed.
Oh no. I knew something
Upon
was going to
being led into
happen.
Dong's home, the man behind the Shujo Brother Yiksu account, who I'll now be referring to simply as Shujo, as I was unable to find his actual name, would begin interviewing one of Dong's many sons, who mentioned something unusual. Holding what appeared to be food in his hand, the child mentions how he and his brothers were often tasked with feeding their mother, who lived out back. This was a bizarre statement from the child,
What?
as after all of Shujo's visits, he had never once seen a mother figure. And
I
up
got
until
weird
this
vibes.
point,
I
most
told
had
you, I
just
got weird
assumed
vibes.
that she was out of the picture. And so confused, Shujo asked the boy to take them to their mother, to which he was promptly led to a small hut behind the house, with his camera drawn.
想不想你妈妈？你妈妈就是你妈妈，你没事，你是大个男子汉了，你就是家里的男子汉，男子汉，男子汉。你好，冷吗？不冷。我给你拿个衣服穿上吧。
Why is she
我给你拿
just...
个衣服穿上吧。我给你拿个衣服去，好不好？我给你拿件衣服。
That poor lady? Oh my god.
我给你拿一件。
Inside the dilapidated hut, Shujo would find a disheveled woman with a chain around her neck, attached to the wall and sealed by a padlock.
Oh my
The woman
god.
herself looked scared,
That
frail,
poor
and was
lady.
noticeably freezing.
I knew
as
there
that
was
winter
something
day
off
when
about
the video
him.
was filmed had been particularly cold. The woman was not only without a jacket, but without shoes, barefoot and shivering in the corner of the room. The majority of her words were barely discernible, as she seemed completely disconnected from the world around her, with the only understandable statement she could manage to make being how she was kept there like a prostitute.
喝点水吧，我给你弄点倒点水。
阿哥，我就急呀，陈年，急了，我跟你今天要不个。
我吃吧。
In all the videos posted by and about
What a
Dong,
creep.
this was the first time his wife and the mother of his children was shown on camera. Immediately, the clip would spread across China, prompting concern for the chained woman, as given the optics alone, many fear that she may be a victim of human trafficking.
Yeah, it kind of seems
Dawn,
like
this
it.
supposedly wholesome figure on the Douyin app, may have actually been using her
Man, you gotta
for the
watch who
sole
you follow on
purpose of
social
bearing
media.
children. In response to the allegations, Dong came forward and admitted that the woman, whose surname was Yang, was in fact his wife, but that she suffered from debilitating mental health issues. And due to this, he claimed that Yang would often lose control and attempt to hurt those around her, including her children.
I don't really believe.
And so, for their safety,
that.
she was kept chained up in a hut outside of the house. And this was a sentiment echoed by officials in the area, as a statement would quickly be made by law enforcement stating, "Her family has been given further assistance to ensure they have a warm Lunar New Year." Despite this quick response, however, the public largely doubted the story that Dong and the authorities had been telling, as regardless of its validity, the way this woman was being kept is clearly just inhumane. And things would only get more suspicious from here, as people attempted to dig deeper. For starters, many would visit the region
the internet will do.
to try and
It'll find
assist
things out
Yang
for you.
and hopefully save her from this neglect, only to discover that Chinese authorities had actually closed off the entire town in which Dong's family had lived, making access to them impossible. Along with this, journalists who had written about the incident were also supposedly arrested, along with the actual owner of the Shujo Brother Iksu account, and 2 other influencers who had attempted to help Yang. It seemed clear that China was attempting to fully censor this whole ordeal, and for good reason too, as this video was released just days before the start of the already controversial Winter Olympic Games, which just so happened to be taking place in China. But as hard as they tried to suppress this, the story of the chained woman had already spread far across the world, even on one day being mentioned across social media more so than the actual Olympics themselves. And in the face of intense international scrutiny, the truth would finally be revealed. In actuality, this lady's name isn't even Yang, and instead it was Chow Humami, and sadly, she had in fact been the victim of human trafficking. In 1996, when Chow was just 20 years old, she was taken to a mental health clinic where somehow she would end up being sold into a trafficking ring.
Horrible.
From there, she was bought and sold on 3 separate occasions, with one of her buyers being Dong's father. Once purchased, Dong would marry the woman and essentially use her as a means of birthing children.
Wireman.
It was within that backyard hut that Dong would often leave this starved and freezing woman chained up like an animal with no chance to leave, and only using her when it would come time to have another child. And as for her violent outbursts, well, that too was a fabrication by Dong, as it would later be revealed that she was actually suffering from a seizure disorder, and each time she would have one, Dong would punish her by chaining her up, not because she was dangerous or anything like that, but because she was an inconvenience.
Because he's a psycho!
The whole situation is unbelievably horrible, and truthfully, I can't even imagine the horrors that this poor woman has endured.
Where he belongs
and
with
without this
Osama bin
massive
Laden and
public
Hitler.
pressure, it's likely
Absorbed
she would have
back into
lived
the
the rest of her
universe,
life
never
as
to
a
reincarnate.
captive woman. Though thankfully, this doesn't appear to be the case, as it's believed that she has now finally been rescued and is being given the proper care that she deserved all along, while Dong and multiple others involved in her trafficking have since been arrested. Leading to an extremely shocking and heinous end to a man once considered one of Douyin's most wholesome creators.
I got a bad vibe about him.
Though there's one last element to this story, an element that totally takes away from this somewhat positive ending.
Oh no.
With that being that Chow wasn't the only captive woman in that village.
Oh my god!
Earlier I had mentioned that the Shujo Brother Yiksu account had been banned with its owner having been arrested, and though this was primarily due to the expose on Dong, he would also release another video directly before his ban that showed that Chow wasn't alone. In that very same small village, just a few houses down, Shujo would discover this.
20多年就这个样子，他地下衣服都不能穿，他就用一个柜子，就这样把这个一扔，可怜的。
Unlike the
makes me
chained woman's
sick.
story, this video would garner just a
makes me sick.
fraction of the
That's really
attention,
fucked
but is
up.
equally as alarming, as this woman, whose surname is Zong, had too been purchased many years ago by her now husband, and it seems that she is somehow treated even worse than Chow, as she had supposedly been beaten consistently throughout the early years of their relationship, leaving her too with severe mental issues, potentially caused by head trauma. And to make things even worse, she has lived like this on the floor of that hut on her knees, unable to walk or stand, for 20 years. Just left there to essentially waste away, unable to even move enough to make it to the bed that sits so tantalizingly close. There's just something so incredibly disturbing about this video in particular, and unfortunately I couldn't find any more information on it, with the only real detail being that the case was
That makes me
quote-unquote
so
under
mad. You guys have no idea
investigation.
how
But
mad that
sadly, I
makes
have no
me. This
idea
is
what
why I
ended up
don't even
happening
ask
to
what the
Zong
inmates
since
have done,
then.
'cause I don't
But I
wanna
do
know.
hope that they are giving her the proper care
It's just-
and putting measures in place to protect any others like her
You
and
just
Chow.
learn that
As given
people
that
can
these two
just
cases
be
happen so close to each other in one small village, I have a bad feeling that they
so
aren't
evil to
the
other
only
people.
ones.
It's just mind-blowing. I just don't understand it.
I want to give a huge shout out to my God tier patron members, Alexander Durant.
Oh my god. Okay, so we did it. We made it through. We made it. Oh my god. Oh, before I forget to mention this, I did get a Rumble account. I'm probably going to regret it because I looked at it and I was like, this feels a little MAGA to me. But whatever. I just like having issues with copyrights and problems like that over, I don't know. Like I'm getting like 15 views on some videos. Some videos I'll get like a lot. Some videos I won't get any. So I just thought maybe I could upload some content over there and just kind of see what happens. I'm not expecting anyone to watch it, but here's my name over there if you guys want to go check me out on Rumble. And obviously I put my TikTok and everything down in my description. So if you guys want to check that out, I would appreciate it, and love you forever. And yeah, so that was our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to try to watch something a little bit less dark next time. Maybe I'll just watch something after this. Oh, when's the new Housewives on? Oh no, it's on tomorrow. Never mind. Okay guys, well, if you liked my video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Okay, I love you. Bye.